3, Mike and I started attending an adult Bible fellowship where we had many other younger couples with young kids, just like we had. And we were just starting to learn the Bible. And we had several people in our adult Bible fellowship that told us that they came to know the Lord at age 5 or 4. And Mike and I both looked at each other like, right. How could they even know? How could they understand what that really entails, you know, asking Jesus to be their Savior at 5 years old? Well, guess who at 5 years old asked Mom and Dad to accept Jesus into his heart? Patrick. It was kind of funny, actually comical, because Mike and I were kind of caught off guard. We didn't know what to say. So he came up to me and he said, Mom, I really want to ask Jesus into my heart. And I said, oh, really? I said, that's great. Okay, we'll talk to Dad when he gets home from work. So then, of course, he pursued Mike, and he went up to Mike and said, Dad, I want to ask Jesus to be in my heart. And Mike was thinking the same thing I am, like, oh, really? You know, now what do we do? So Mike and I actually had a little conversation about it, and we thought, well, I know we have there's this little track, this little prayer book, but we weren't really sure exactly what we were supposed to do with him. So he really didn't give Patrick an answer, and I really didn't give Patrick an answer. And so finally Patrick comes into the kitchen, and I'm unloading the dishwasher, and he says, Mom, can I at least pretend to have Jesus in my heart? So that was Patrick at 5 years old. Patrick just loved the Lord. I can't say that he always had that with passion for the Lord. There were times where we did see Patrick kind of waver a little bit in his faith, and I would say that probably started about 6th grade. And maybe that's a normal time to do that when you're just going from being a child to being a young adult and starting to understand a little bit more about faith and making that faith your own. So, we did have some times with Patrick where we were really praying and hoping that he would continue to love the Lord and live his life in that way. So I'll let Mike add some things if
Yeah, that's one reason I think I have a real burden for being involved in the middle school youth group is because 6th grade was kind of a turning point for Pat, and I don't know if a turning point, but a crisis point where I think he kind of wanted to start doing his own thing a little bit. He realized that youth group was a pretty big commitment, and he was cutting it into his own personal time. And so we prayed about it quite a bit, and God worked it out perfect. I was supposed to teach accounting that semester at Kirkwood. And he called me on Tuesday and said, well, Mike, there's not enough people in your class, so you're not going to be able to teach that class. And I said, okay, fine. I'll just go. And it was supposed to be on a Wednesday night that I was supposed to teach. I said, all right, well, I'll just talk to Mark Eve and see if I can become a middle school counselor and make sure we get Pat integrated there and work out perfect. So God's hand was involved in that. And, it was kind of a struggle. Pat at times would complain about coming to middle school youth group, but of course, it was one of those that once we got here, he never wanted to leave either. And so it was kind of hard to get him here, and it was kind of hard to get him to leave. And, one of the points I wanted to touch on was, as far as, relationships are concerned, because that's how we kind of want to tie this together, it was quite a commitment for Patrick to come here every week for basically 2.5 hours, right? You have to drive a half hour each way. The boy made great memories. I remember driving home and Dominic would be hanging out the back window, hollering at the cars next to us. We'd have to crank up the radio, and he'd put on a big fat sunglasses and put the seat back and act like this, and they just had a great time. And we were really bond some memories that were a lot of fun. And then, but it laid a real strong foundation for what was able to become further ground for where he was able to then blossom in the last couple of years there to where we really had some really strong relationships.
I guess for me, growing up in our younger years, we never really ultimately got along that well. Mostly it was just bickering as far as I remember. There were some times when he'd be like, he wanted me to be his little brother, because my 2 younger brothers are too far apart. So when he was like 8 or 9, he was trying to get me to wasn't working out. And so this went on, and I remember we were in Michigan once. My grandpa was showing how to use a pellet gun or something. And I tried to shoot that thing, and my shoulder went like 6 inches out of place. So I'm like, Pat, I'm not your brother. And so we kind of broke off for like probably a year. When I was like 10 and he was 11, because he was going into middle school. And that's when he did start breaking off from his faith. And so my parents started spending a lot more time with him and trying to get him back on track. So I was kind of in my little corner. And so I guess that kind of continued for quite a while. And we were just kind of like, he was my big brother, I was a little sister. Everywhere I went, I was Patrick's little sister, And so once he was in high school and I was in middle school, we started kind of missing each other, surprisingly. And when I remember one of our biggest things when I was in 8th grade, I was really excited for high school, and one of our major things was we were going to be in the same school. And I could annoy him in the hallways, he could annoy me, we could bug on each other, just like watch each other, make sure we didn't do anything wrong. And I guess when I was like 13 and he was 15, we started really connecting, and we ultimately became best friends. And it really started with this thing where we started, instead of me like barging into his room to accuse him of stealing my leftovers or whatever from Applebee's, I was just going into his room to talk about things. Like, we love to make fun of people acting like actors. It was just our thing. And like, I'd be doing my homework, he'd come into my room and just like lay on my bed and be like, your pillow's really comfortable. And just, and I always got mad at him because he made my pillow smell weird. So, yeah, and that was like the start of our like being best friends. And it really like skyrocketed just like in a week. We'd gone from just going into each other's room to going to Dairy Queen behind our parents' backs. And those were great times, like all the time. And so really that's when we were best friends. And so I guess one of the things that really put me kind of alone when he passed is I wasn't going to be in high school with him anymore, which was like our big thing coming up. And the way we're paired off is, well, my little brothers, they are paired off because of their age, and me and Patrick paired off because of our age. And so now that he was gone, I lost not only my best friend, but kind of my closest sibling. And so I was really ultimately all alone. Like, I had my friends, but I didn't have my best friend. So I guess I have mostly the same thing to say about relationships. Like, you need to make sure that you are like always improving your relationship, like always trying to work at it, because there was one day when I said goodnight to my brother and I never said good morning. Like, I never heard his voice again. And you never know when that's going to happen. So like, you just need to always take advantage of what you're doing and who you're with, and just always make the best of it, because like, you hear those sayings like, live like today's your last day, and like, honestly, we all know we never really do that, but we should. We